ladies and gentlemen, and as always, thank you for watching. Today we're going to go to one of our local school districts and give a little talk and a demonstration for a career day that they're having for juniors and seniors looking into different careers. We're going to talk about the mechanical side of the shop, also the towing and recovery side, what kind of things are required, what kind of schooling and background, and what the job entails. You know, just a lot of different things to discuss with these young people, and we enjoy helping the community out. This is just part of our service we provide to the community. So here we go. Let's enjoy the time. Okay, Ethan is here, gonna help me get set up. Mike's supposed to be on his way to help me get set up. What we're gonna do for the demonstration anyway is we're gonna roll the bus most of the way over. This is still a decent bus. It ain't great, but it's decent. So we're going to set it up and roll it most of the way over. And then we'll talk about the physics, geometry, math that's used in it, what's involved with the job. Now I'm simply redirecting my auxiliary winch lines off of the second stage of the boom. They'll act as a lift on the first part and the catch on the second part. All right, get the boom up and over, and then we'll start getting some rigging set. Hopefully Mike will be here by then. right, now I want my boom at almost 90 degrees. $90. And then we'll take a look and see if it is, it's close to center on the bus. Eyeball it, sometimes measure it off. All right, now for the rigging. Do what, buddy?
There's a little spot on one of the tires that's not shiny.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll be all right.
Is there no more?
Probably not. Now, pick up any of your paper towels that you had. I picked up some that were here, but put them in the passenger floorboard, please.
That was
all. Woo, it is hot. It's supposed to be 100 degree, over 100 degrees plus heat index.
Just right on the edge of the track, right?
Do I, buddy? Yep, that's good enough. Right there. Do what?
How many D-rings did you say you needed?
Well, for the straps, we need 4. For the end of the straps, the big silver ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you said you're rolling this one, right?
Do what, buddy?
You said you're rolling this one?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
So does that mean you're laying it down on its side, or you're just rolling it in the air?
We're gonna roll it most of the way over on its side. We're not gonna take it all the way,
so you don't hurt the mirrors.
so we don't tear the mirrors up and stuff. You are correct.
So is that what we're doing at the fair this year, or we actually just...
I'm not sure yet, buddy. We may. I think we'll probably suspend it like we do in past years, but I don't know for sure. Well, I am soaking wet already. All right, boys, you're falling behind.
What?
I got my side set up. Whoo!
Not to get too sweaty, I have a whole day.
Yeah, I know. I got a whole day of work too, bud.
Yeah, I know, but you're supposed to get sweaty at work. You're supposed to not look like a greasy rat at school.
Not supposed to what?
Look like a greasy rat at school.
Oop, how did that get turned around? You always want the angle of the pull pulling into the throat of the hook. Not the tip, but the You want it angling in toward the throat of the hook. We could probably get by, Mike, with just the blue slings. What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, no, not when we roll, because when we roll, it's gonna crease on the roof. And with these, you don't have as much pressure. The pressure that's put on the strap is spread out more when you use one of the 12-inch straps. Otherwise, it's more concentrated. It's concentrated on this. You have more likelihood of damage to the bus and more likelihood of damage to the strap. Do what? Yeah, the red chains, just like I got them there. I think we'll just use the blue rather than fighting with those yellows.
Ooh, is that a new strap?
They're fairly new.
I don't have my knife.
Well, you're not supposed to have your knife at school.
Yeah, I know. And I reached for it, but then I remembered.
It's all right, I got mine. Mike, I'm sure, has got his too.
Yep.
You gotta be really, really careful here, so you don't hurt the strap.
Or yourself.
Correct. All right, rigged up the same way I got the other side.
You go. Just
Went through
go
two links, but not with the valve stem. Put the trash away. Woo! It is warm. Got to reorganize this thing again. No, I don't want those. I thought I did, but no, I changed my mind. I got the shackles, Mike. Clevises, whatever.
And what time it be?
Do what, bud?
What time it
7:26.
I was gonna say 7:30.
Do what?
I was gonna say 7:30.
Well, you're pretty doggone close.
I'll guesstimate.
All right, bud. Take one end of that and put it through the white hook.
Wait, why is it on grass?
Do what?
Why is it on grass?
Because I hooked it up, or I pulled spare cable out in the grass. Might as well go ahead and put that stuff back up, please. My bad. I changed plans in the middle of the game.
We didn't unwrap them. That's fine.
Okay, Mike, you want to do this? Ethan?
What?
Mike says
You
move.
wanna play with it? Yeah, he said yield.
Okay. Listen to me very, very carefully, okay? All right.
My face is sweaty.
The yellow and reds.
Mustard and ketchup.
Okay, the mustard and ketchup are gonna lift,
Yep.
and you want to just feather them nice and slow. And the blue and whites, you'll have to let out a little bit at a time because they're just going to catch it. We don't at any time want to lift this bus off the ground, okay? I don't want it lifted or moved. All we're going to do is pivot it and roll it off of these tires onto the ground, okay? So, to start with, best thing to do, give you some slack on the white and blues. All right, you remember the controls, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now stand back so you can watch the whole job. Watch the truck, watch the bus, your connection points, everything. All right, start bringing it up. Your yellow is the heavy end. Your yellow and white. The bus is heavier on this end, so start there. And keep even pressure on the red, just following it up. You're all right, keep it going. Midwest truck. Yep, Ethan's rolling the bus over right now. Yep. Okay. All right. All right, love you, bye. All right, now watch your straps over here. You don't want to get too much tension on them. You're fine right now because they're loose. Give you a little bit more loose on your blue. Pay out on the blue. Right joystick down. Because see, you were starting to lift a little bit. You just want these to catch is all you want to do. Nope, that's all right.
Oh, that was the boom down.
That's okay.
My bad.
Now what you can do though is you can boom up.
I just
Okay. We could set it up different. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. But let off on your white and your blue and come up on your red and your yellow. And we do not want to take it all the way over because like we talked about earlier, we don't want to destroy the mirrors. A little more on your red. There you go. Mike, help me watch that white and blue.
a little bit.
What?
Come out on white and blue.
Yeah, blue wouldn't hurt.
Out on white and blue. Hold on. Yeah, it lost connection. There you go. There you go. Sync it up. White and blue out. Okay. Now up on yellow and red. That dang yellow hook got twisted again, but it's all right. Go ahead. You're fine.
Seems like the red's got a bit of a dead spot.
Keep coming. You're just about to the catch point. Okay, let out on yellow, or I'm sorry, let out on white and blue. Out on white and blue. Keep going, out on white and blue. Out on white only. All right, now. Up on yellow and red. Midwest truck, that's Ron. Hold. All right, will do. Sounds good. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, come out on white and blue. You should be able to pay out on white and blue and go ahead and lay the bus over. Don't come up on yellow and red anymore. Actually, I'd let off on yellow and red just a tad. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, now come out on white and blue. Keep it coming. Because see, if you keep tension on the red and yellow after it gets the rollover point, you'll actually lift it and it'll swing into the truck. You don't want to do that. So now that it's reached the rollover point, take your yellow and red down some so that you don't risk lifting it. Okay, a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, now out on white and blue. Go ahead. Whoa, 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 whoa. Out on blue, you're a little uneven. You don't watch your slack in your line. You don't have any weight on your white. You don't have much. You've got a little bit. Try to keep your weight even between the lines, okay? All right, now you noticed your blue went slack. Okay. Come on down with your white. That's good enough right there. I'd stop. That way it's not all the way over. We're not breaking the mirrors. We're not tearing anything up. Good place to stop. You agree, Mike? They get the idea. Well, come down with the blue just a little more. We're almost hitting the stop arm. Whoop. Now down on the white just a hair. All right, we're good. All right. Remote off so that we, here, no, not the kill switch. Power off. It will. Just hold it down. Press it and hold it. It'll go off. There you go.
I had to hold it for longer than I thought.
Yeah. All right, good job, bud. All right, I guess you better head on up to CTC.
What time is it?
7:40. Well, you got a little bit of time. Wait till all of them get here.
Okay.
Guys, I've got the cones set up. If you would, for your own safety, please stay behind the cones. Stay on the asphalt. All right, we got a few stragglers coming in. Can everybody hear me okay? All right. Hello, my name is Ron Pratt. This is Mike. I've gone to school here when I was younger. My wife went to school here. She works here. Our children both went to school here. I've been asked by Mrs. Grant to come out and explain a little bit about my job and do a little demonstration for you guys about some of the importance of learning and education and what we do on a daily basis. First of all, we have a diesel mechanic repair shop that's been in business here since 1985. We also have the towing and recovery units. We have anything from the rollbacks up to this big, what's called a rotator. I've got this set up for a demonstration that we'll do after a while. Some of the training that I've had, you know, is available through CTC here at school. Everyday training that I use on the job: math, geometry, physics, business, business writing, accounting. The job encompasses a lot of everything that you don't think you're going to use in school, but you do. Just look at the layout on that and think of everything that has to be done just to know exactly what I have to do to safely perform that job. There's a huge amount of math, physics, and geometry that goes into that to know that I'm going to be able to do that safely without anybody getting hurt. There's a lot of investment in money and equipment, manpower, safety equipment, overhead. That truck right there with all the equipment that's on it costs around $750,000. $750,000. That's a lot of money, folks. That doesn't cover your insurance and everything else. For anybody that's looking to go into the field, if we're hiring, some of the things that we look for, what do you guys think? What do first impressions make a difference? When you first see somebody, if we have somebody that's highly qualified, but they show up in shorts and a t-shirt and their hair all messed up, they're not going to give me a good first impression. Granted, first impressions aren't always the best, but as an employer, if you show up and look professional, you're going to have a much better chance getting further along in the hiring process with us just by looking professional. We try to look professional when we go to a job. Now, like Mike and I have been working this morning, I changed shirts. Mike's dirty, but that's part of our job. But when we leave the shop, we look professional. We wear professional clothing, high-vis gear, hard hats, gloves, safety shoes, everything that's required by the law that we have to do. There's a lot of dangers inherent to this job, even on the mechanic side. I'll focus primarily on the towing and recovery. As you can see here, if any part of this system fails, the bus could fall, chains could fly through the air and get somebody hurt. Again, here's where the math comes in. I know exactly what that bus weighs. I know exactly how much tension is on each of those lines and on each part of my rigging. Pay attention, because there's going to be a quiz at the end. Let's just say that bus weighs 40,000 pounds. A little bit of physics here. Does anybody know what inertia means? Know what inertia means? Okay. Inertia is basically when something is laying still, it requires an outside force to make it move, okay? Another term for that in our industry is called resistance. It's not a synonymous term, but we refer to it a lot of times as resistance. If that bus weighs 40,000 pounds and it's laying on its side, it takes 50% of the weight of that bus to start it rolling up. So that's what, approximately 20,000 pounds to get it started rolling. With the boom, this truck is capable of lifting up to 100,000 pounds. But again, the physics and geometry of it, whenever you take the boom and extend it out, you lose your lifting capacity by almost half. When the boom is out, fully extended, and I'm flat, I can lift about 18 to 20,000. As I raise the boom and bring the boom closer into the truck, the capacity goes up. I can lift more. If I bring the boom in, if I retract the boom, I can lift more. I have more strength with the boom up and in. Right there, basic math, if we're doing 40,000 pounds, right now there's no pressure on the red or the yellow hooks. Based on what I told you a while ago about how much pressure is on each of the white and blue lines that I have there. The two blue straps on the roof of the bus. Correct. Approximately 10,000 pounds each. You're right. We work on an on-call basis with a lot of the police departments. We work very closely with police, fire, emergency services, emergency medical personnel. We work on small incidents, large incidents. It's extremely dangerous, especially when we're working out by ourselves on the interstate. The rollbacks are probably the most dangerous. When we go out and pick up just a car, we're there by ourselves. That's where the emergency lighting, the high visibility clothing, and our training come into play. We have to have what's called situational awareness. You have to know your surroundings at all times. You've got to constantly be watching behind you. Some of you may or may not know I have a YouTube channel. Miss Pratt may have told you about it. She can't watch my videos because my head's constantly moving. It makes her motion sick. But that's just part of what's ingrained into me by trying to have my situational awareness, making sure that a car's not coming up on me or a semi's not coming up on me. In this industry, the towing and recovery industry, we lose approximately one operator every 2 weeks to a hit on the interstate accident. The ratio of struck-bys out on the interstate over police officers is 6 to 1. So for every one police officer hit or killed, there's 6 towing and recovery operators hit or killed on the interstate. It is a very dangerous job. That's why we stress safety so heavily. Some of the situations that we may come across, we end up working incidents right alongside fire departments and police, like I said, in emergency management, with people still trapped in vehicles. We do work fatality incidents, so we see people who've lost their life in a crash. Of course, the coroner shows up sometimes, or air evac will be called in and we'll be working those scenes. There's also times when we're dealing with hazardous materials. It's not always biological contaminants, but there's also chemical contaminants that we have to worry about. We have special suits and special gear that we wear on situations like that, again, to protect ourselves. I guess one of the worst incidents that I can remember that I ever had to work, there was a wrong way driver out here on the interstate. You could probably see it from here if it wasn't for the levee. But there was an older gentleman driving the wrong way southbound in the northbound lane of traffic. He clipped an SUV with 2 people and a child in it. The SUV went over the guardrail, turned over, and caught on fire and was burning. The female passenger was ejected. The male passenger was in the vehicle, or the male driver was in the vehicle while the vehicle was burning. After the emergency services got there, they pulled the gentleman out of the vehicle, couldn't find the child, didn't know where the child was. The thought was that the child was possibly either burned up in the vehicle or underneath the vehicle. The feeling of dread that I had through that whole experience was just, I can't explain it. And anytime there's a fatality incident, the Highway Patrol has to do a complete accident reconstruction so that they know what happens to help prevent this from happening in the future. So what I was tasked with doing was taking this truck and lifting that SUV very cautiously after sifting through everything, the fire debris, and making sure that that child wasn't under the vehicle. About the time that we got that done, another officer on the side of the scene got a call that the young child that was thought to be with them was actually with their aunt. I cannot explain to you the amount of relief that came to us all. Yes, it chokes me up a little bit still talking about it, because it was so emotional having to deal with that, especially with children. Okay, funny story. We'll give you a funny story too. Can we do the one out on the Jackson Hill?
Go for it.
Okay. Had an SUV that went off in the woods. Everybody know where Jackson Hill is between Scott City and Commerce? Okay. Anyway, we got a call early one morning by the Highway Patrol that there was an SUV off in the woods on that steep hill. I get to the scene, and there's a gentleman sitting in the passenger seat of the trooper's car with no clothes on. He's wearing nothing but a towel that the trooper had provided for him. I don't know the entire situation, and I won't make any speculations, but he had to leave in a hurry, apparently later or earlier that evening. He crashed and wandered through the woods all night long until daylight, and then at daylight he was walking on Roth Drive. Somebody saw a naked man walking down Roth Drive and called the police, obviously. And as soon as I got out of the truck, the trooper, I knew him, he asked me, "Ron, can you please go down and see if there's some clothes in this car, because this gentleman's sitting with his naked butt on my seat." We never know what we're going to run into in this situation. It's some of the jobs I can't even begin to describe. My wife asked me to mention something about YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel. My primary job is this. Make no mistake about it. This is my job, okay? Mechanics, administration, and going out working these accident scenes and towing and recovery. That's my primary job. I started the YouTube channel 8 years ago, roughly. And it has taken a lot of hard work to get to where it is now. I have almost 250,000 subscribers. It doesn't come overnight though. That's something that I work on. It's basically a second job. I work 3 to 5 hours a night on YouTube, either approving comments, making videos, responding to comments, processing videos. It's not an easy job, and it's something that I got into, and I was the only one doing what I'm doing on YouTube. There's a lot of people out there that think they can make a fortune on YouTube by gaming channels and stuff. There's so many gaming channels out there, it's ridiculous. If you're gonna make a career on YouTube, you've got to find something unique that nobody else is doing. Just like anything else, if you want to start up business, you've got to find something unique that people like and they want. You've got to find a product that people want. Ms. Pratt, do you have anything?
What about average salary range? How many years of school?
Okay, average salary range will go both ways. We'll go with the mechanics, for the diesel mechanics, entry level is going to be in this area somewhere around $12 to $14 an hour. Pay can go up to $30 an hour or better. Just depends on your training and experience. I know that you've got CTC. There's also diesel colleges. We don't necessarily require that. There's some people that have a natural, what I call a God-given ability. Mike is one of those. I'm one of those. I have gifts. Some of you have gifts with music. Some of you are gifted athletically, some mechanically. You had another, okay, now on the towing and recovery side, if you do just the towing and recovery, it's similar salary range, but once you move up into the heavy recovery, depending on what part of the country you're in, you can make over 6 figures a year by being a heavy operator. So it can be a very good job. It's dangerous. There's a lot of training classes involved. There's RecMaster, there's TRAA, there's a lot of reading. Like I said, there's a huge amount of math, geometry, and physics that goes into it. I urge you, if you're interested in doing this, to pay close attention. Take your business classes, because not all of this is just work out in the field. Whenever I get done, I have to write up the invoices and we have to get paid. I don't want to do this for free. I'd like to, but we got to get paid. We got to pay the bills. Part of doing that is writing up detailed invoices. I learned that by taking business classes, business writing and accounting.
What about females in the industry?
Females in the industry, oh, by all means. Females can do this job just as well as males can. There is a physical component to this job, obviously. It's very physical. Nobody said that a woman cannot do this job. There are women tow truck drivers all over the country and loving it. There's female truck drivers all over the country and they're loving it. No restrictions. If you want to do it, you can do it. You just got to set your mind to it. Huh?
Any questions?
Yeah. Any questions, anybody? Nobody? No questions? Huh? Okay. Mike, we're going to go ahead and roll it. Also, another part of this job that I didn't get into is the IT, the tech that's involved. This is one of the most high-tech machines on the market. This is a full function wireless remote control with a heads-up display. It's basically a joystick control panel, like a gaming console. Gives me multiple bits of information on this screen. Like right now, I can tell what my boom angle is, how far my boom's extended out, how much weight I've got on the boom, what my boom rotation is. Of course, I didn't explain that, but this boom rotates 360 degrees. It'll go all the way around the truck. It also slides back and forth inside the carriage. We got it set up this morning so that you guys can see a little bit of what we do. We want to be sure and control every bit of motion on this. We don't want any uncontrolled movement. Uncontrolled movement means danger, the potential for injury. We don't want that. All right, this is a multi-function, multi-axis control. I can work both winches, the white and blue, at the same time, or I can take the boom up, or I can take the white and blue winches up. And now notice as I'm bringing the white and blue winches up, the yellow and red are tightening up. Again, there's some geometry going in play there, all right? The trick is to feather it in between the two. I don't want the bus to actually lift off the ground. All I want these near lines to do, the yellow and the red, is to catch it and lower it so that we have a controlled motion. It goes pretty quick, but there was probably an hour's worth of setup involved in doing that. Between getting it here last night, it took 30 to 45 minutes for us to tow the bus here, and then roughly 45 minutes to set up all the rigging just to do that 30 seconds worth of rollover. There's a lot of preparation time and a lot of calculations that have to be made to do that safely. Now I can do the same in reverse. I can lift it straight up if I wanted to, yeah. From this position, it's not good to do, but I can lift it straight up. Let me get it repositioned and I'll do that. Hold on. But you see how it's doing a slow, controlled motion? How often do we have job openings? Not very often. We pay well, we try to treat our employees well. Most of our guys are lifers, what we call lifers. Once they come in, Mike, unless he decides to go somewhere, I don't see him going anywhere. Mike, don't you enjoy the job? There's Officer Atlas. I've worked with Officer Atlas many, many times out on the interstate. Yes, sir, you got a question? Okay. Now, before you wanted me to lift it, I've got to check everything out. I've got to recheck my rigging, and I've got to get the boom directly above it. There's a few things I have to do first, so give me just a second here. Lifted in the air. The way we had it rigged, we could do any number of things with it. One of them was a direct vertical lift. If it had been rolled over in a ditch and we needed to be able to pick it up out of the ditch after we unloaded it, we were in position with our rigging to do all of it without having to reset the rigging. I could upright it, lift it, and then bring it around and set it on the road. Right now, we're envisioning that this is in a ditch, okay? I can bring it all the way around here and set it on the road.
Have you ever hit your own truck with it?
Have not. Have come close, but have not.
Show us what it would be like when
I'm just gonna bring it around slow and easy. But this type of truck opens up a whole new set of opportunities in our industry. For years, we worked with what they call just straight booms. A boom that will come straight off the back of the truck, which meant you had to angle your truck to the line of the work that you were doing. With this, I can position the boom where I need it. and we can leave traffic moving, which is extremely important to the highway patrol. One of the aspects of working with the highway patrol and the interstate systems, people do not understand everything that goes up and down the highways all the time. There's millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of freight. There's transplant organs. A lot of that stuff, especially the transplant organs, are on very timely basis. If the interstate shut down, the transplant recipient may not get that organ because that organ may not be any good by the time they get there. It's extremely important to keep the interstates open or to minimize their closures if at all possible. Now, I told you that this one, obviously we can rotate the boom. Let me get it over here to the side in a second. All right, now, this is one of the only trucks in the area that has the rolling function. My whole boom rolls forward and backwards inside, which makes it a whole lot easier for me to place the boom where I need it. Watch, and I'm taking the whole boom carriage forward. Again, that's part of the high tech. With this truck right here, there could be any number of jobs involved just in building and designing this truck, not to mention the industry that I'm in. Do what, babe? Okay, anybody got any questions?
No, sir.
We'll go ahead and set it down. All right. Hold on. Told you there was a pop quiz. All right. When a vehicle is laid on its side, what percentage of inertia has to be overcome to get that vehicle to start upright?
50. He didn't raise his hand.
It's all right, he answered first. All right, question, Mike. Okay, I got one. This one wasn't explained, but I stressed it very, very heavily. What is the most important thing that I have to keep in mind at all times?
Safety! Watching for other vehicles. Watching for other
Safety is the proper answer.
Right here. I want
If the size isn't right, see Mrs. Pratt and we'll see about changing out, all right?
Thank you very much.
Is that it, guys? Thank you.
Appreciate you more than you know.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I have to tell my husband
Thanks
his
for
relative is here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there she sits. Presentation's over, demonstration's over. Hopefully the students learned a few things, maybe piqued their interest in a few potential careers. Hope I did a decent job of doing the talk and the demonstration. I always criticize myself too harshly, but anyway, as always, thank you for watching and God bless. Remember, slow down, move over. Please, we want to go home to our families.